The Florida Mayhem continued to surge with a 3-2 victory over the San Francisco Shock. And again, Florida is just looking so good. You know what? We still got to give it up for the San Francisco Shock. They look good as well. Sinatra did great in his debut. And it's going to be super interesting to see how he does moving forward. All right, next up, our last match of the night. We have the Houston Outlaws going up against the Shanghai Dragons. Now, the Houston Outlaws, they came out of the gate pretty quick as one of the best teams here at the Overwatch League. But since then, they've been struggling a little bit. So you best believe they're going to be trying to end this stage as strong as possible. And the Shanghai Dragons, they actually made some acquisitions during the last break. And we get to see 2 of those acquisitions at work today. You guys ready for that? You guys ready for that? The new players? All right, guys. Blizzard Arena, make some noise. It is the final match of the night.
Welcome back. We're finishing Hump Day with a good one. It's the Shanghai Dragons, their improved lineup, or at least their new faces, taking on the Houston Outlaws. Welcome back. It's Puckett and crew. We got the full desk. Zoe rejoins us once again alongside Reinforce and Crumbs. And this is a match that we are hoping is a lot closer than the leaderboard would predict it to be.
Is today the day, Puckett? That's all I have to say. Is today the day?
That's the question we always ask ourselves when Shanghai Dragons are taken to the stage. And
But this time it might happen, so
it might
I'm
happen.
excited.
Anytime now, anytime now.
It's not the normal 6, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. For now, we have to introduce the match, and let's start here with the Shanghai Dragons. They're going up against the Houston Outlaws, who have a pretty good record overall. Very strong team in Stage 1. They've been picking up a lot of losses, though, here in Stage 2. For Shanghai, you don't have a win yet. This is your opportunity to win your first ever match, and you're going to try and do it with some new guys joining the team. So who did they bring in? What is the roster currently looking like for this Shanghai Dragon squad?
Well, the roster has been a bit of an issue this stage as this player disappears, the next player disappears, but alas, we do have 2 new additions ever since this weekend. Fearless and Ado have joined this squad in person, physically. They are here and they will be playing on stage. They arrived this weekend. We're still waiting for Giguri, who should be here for their first match in Stage 3, but for now we have the 2 Koreans, Fearless and Ado. Undead and Dia are both still in China and they won't be coming back for this week's matches, so this is what we have now.
Johnny, you asked the question. Now I'm going to direct it purely at you. Is today the day the Shanghai Dragons get their first match?
It actually could be. It actually could be, right? Because you have a new main tank, and we've seen what Fisher did to the Gladiators. If Fearless, he's very hyped up as one of the better main tanks coming up in Korea. So him joining the ranks today, that might set up the DPS players. And of course, you have Ado coming in as a DPS player. Fantastic Genji, but can also play the Tracer. And we've seen how important Tracer players are, right? Going up against Houston. Today could be the day.
I mean, if we follow statistics, literally anything else than what the Shanghai Dragons has been doing will probably increase their chances of winning. So by adding new players, I'm seeing things go well. So anything that is changed, we've been welcoming new strategies that they've been trying to do that. So now that you got new players, they might bring a whole new set of ideas for this team.
And I love the guy in the crowd. He's got the sign, "Let Shanghai win." 1 in 18. Can they get it? There it is. There's the man.
Earn that win. Earn it. Don't let him win.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously they want to take the win. I did talk to the Houston Outlaws asking about the 2 new additions on Shanghai's side. Like, could this be it? Like, is this going to make the team stronger? However, their GM Flame said that he actually believes, if anything, this could be a disadvantage for their opponents because they only have 2 or 3 days to actually practice with them, adjust to them. And also, mind you, the Chinese players don't really speak English. The Korean players also don't really speak English. The Korean players are in the process of learning Chinese. So communication could potentially be a bit of an issue.
Now, all you have to do is if you press X on your keyboard, it says, "I need healing." And if you press Z, it says, "Charge my ult."
Scream Monkey every now and then. That's what I learned.
Building that one in.
Wonderful.
It's surprising. I thought Houston's at the start was the team that was saying, we're never going to underestimate anyone. We're going to treat everybody the exact same. These are words that are conflicting. So have things changed?
Honestly, for me, Houston, today is your day. What is the composition they're going to run? If you're going to try anything new, you have to think this is the time to do it. It all starts right now. Blizzard Arena, are you ready for the final match of the day? Let's get it started. It's the Shanghai Dragons taking on the Houston Outlaws.
like how aggressive Shanghai is playing right now.
And now Houston's turning it around. A moment of silence that pisses him off. He's gonna get in here and start punching people.
Oh, Roshan, he's on his own. What is this? Great play from Linkster to respond. This is so gross, Houston. You can't do that. Don't you dare, nasty cheeky boy. That's just sublime.
Let's bring out our first squad. It's the Shanghai Dragons. Some familiar faces at the front. We got Five King, we've got Freefeel, we got Shishu, MG. In the back of the lineup, though, the two new faces. You got Fearless and Otto. Today, their first day on the Overwatch League stage.
Yes, and today could be the day. We've said it a lot. I would like to see what they actually have to bring to the table when it comes to the hero pools. I could see Ado playing either the Tracer or the Genji today, depending on the roles. 5K on camera, of course. We know him as a great Lucio, so maybe with the new space that Fearless can create, these players might actually shine today.
And there is no Roshan, so we get to really see what was going on. Are they going to be following Fearless? Well, if so, then they should have been Fearless with Roshan, and we would have gotten to see what they actually got to do with that player. But now, it's not a lot of practice, but skill is going to be the thing that would carry this team if it's going to happen today.
Control maps, one of their strengths. Triple tank, a strength we've seen in the past, but no Dia, no Undead today. Any composition be coming out.
Yeah, anything could be coming out, but they're definitely coming in prepared and with confidence and talk to the Dragons about the strength and the weakness of their opponents. And they had plenty of praise for the individual players of the Houston Outlaws and, of course, for their general team cohesion. But they did mention that they are aware of a disadvantage in that they're weak with some heroes, such as Tracer, and they will adjust their strategies accordingly.
Tracer Free Wednesday. I think that'd make a lot of people in this venue happy. That's a look at your starting lineup for the Shanghai Dragons. Now it's time to find out who will they be playing against. Let's hear it for the Houston Outlaws. You looked at the standings at the end of stage one. This was your number 2 seed. They finished 7-3 at the peak of the stage, but now here in stage 2, they're number 6 overall, just 3-5 in stage 2.
And they have been starting to find some momentum. Obviously, they took it to game 5 versus the Gladiators, who we saw in action earlier today. And that's not a bad team, right? So looking at the Houston Outlaws, they've had a bit of a slump, but moving forwards, they've actually looked better and better.
I mean, we all know that each individual player who just took to the stage has what it takes to defeat basically any team in the league. And when I talked to their GM Flame about their recent slump, he said that communication and playing too many different rosters on maps are two of the things which have affected their current performance. So let's see if they can end the stage on a high note.
And these guys, I know they've had a lot of losses. We've been harsh on them here at the desk, but this is one of the most loved squads in the Overwatch League. So much fan support here in the Blizzard Arena.
Yeah, they have a lot of personality, but that personality has to be met with skill. All jokes aside, Shanghai Dragons lineup here does not have full DPS. They have very little practice. Anything but a 4-0 for the Houston Outlaws here will not cut it.
Jake alongside Linkster, that is your DPS duo for game number 1. It's going to be a great series. I have a feeling. Another game 5, Johnny. Don't give me that look. When you look at this squad, though, give me one player to watch for all the new fans.
It has to be Linkster, right? Because he is your superstar player and always the one who is reliable. Whether it's Genji or Widowmaker, Linkster is always turning up, and he needs to do it today as well.
We have the stage set. All 12 players are in their seats. That means it's time to get this party started. Make some noise as we send it to our casters. It's Monty and Doa.
Hey guys, Monty here, getting ready to start our final match of the day. It's going to be Shanghai Dragons taking on the Houston Outlaws. I'm excited about this one, man. Some new faces on the Shanghai Dragons, Houston Outlaws on the other side. It's been a bit of a rough stage, but a chance for kind of a confidence win here.
Well, you also see Houston making some interesting changes to their starting lineup. So typically they would run Clockwork playing Tracer on these assault maps, but now they're moving in Jake. So it could mean more strategies that don't include Tracer, or perhaps they're more confident at this point in time with Jake playing the Tracer instead, or playing a different hero while Linkster plays the Tracer. We're just going to have to wait and see what they do on Volskaya.
Could be, and that will be our first map of the day. It's going to be Volskaya Industries. Lijiang Tower, Kings Road, Gibraltar will round out the rest of the series, but it all starts on Assault on Volskaya Industries. There we are. Giant robots. Sadly, we don't get to drive any of them.
Well, not yet, Doa. I
hope so.
In the
That
future,
would be sick, man.
probably my job will be giant robot pilot.
Really?
So
why would you be piloting this giant robot?
You know, they take the best of the best for the giant
That
robot
doesn't
piloting
answer
program.
me. My question though, why would you be doing, not why you specifically, but why would the general you, the royal you, be piloting a giant robot?
Oh, well, I just assume that's where we're going in the future, though, in
Just
terms of our military.
Daily commute?
No.
Stomping
I'm
down the highway?
I'm gonna join the elite military
I
giant
see.
robot piloting corps.
Neat.
Either that, or I'm going to be a henchman for an evil scientist that is trying to take over the world.
All right. Neat. That'll be me, I guess. you could be
I didn't
my
know you were
henchman.
evil. You hide
No.
it very well.
Oh no, my cover's been blown.
You just blew your own cover.
I'm such a bad evil scientist. Oh well, I guess you have to eliminate everyone that heard that with your giant robot now. Oh well. Is he playing air guitar? I think that's what that. Whoa, what is that giant robot doing? Look at that.
He's doing the robot.
He's doing
at
the robot.
distance.
I guess this is one of those situations where you bring up the I don't know what I expected gif, huh? All right. That's right. Look at billions of dollars of government funding going to that. I like it. Let's do more of that. Here we go. Shanghai Dragons on the attack, guys. Houston Outlaws will be defending first here on Volskaya Industries. Things looking pretty normal across the board here. Jake on the Soldier. Not a big surprise if you think they're going to put him in with this one.
So there you go. That's the answer to the question of
Sure.
why Jake this time around. They move Linkser over to the Tracer, have Jake on his classic Soldier pickup. Shanghai Dragons, Otto, for those of you who don't know, is primarily a Genji player, projectile DPS. Fearless now on the main tank role. They will be going dive with MG on the Tracer since we do not have Dia or Undead here today.
That's right. Otto out of MVP Space in Korea. Fearless coming from Element Mystic, a pretty good team of late. In the Korean esports scene, Otto a little bit low though, taken down early by Muma. The dive completed, and Coolmac coming up big with a couple himself. Meanwhile, Freefield firing away, but watching his team fall all over the point right now.
I mean, they did actually pick up a couple of kills. They got both of the supports of the Outlaws late in this fight. That's going to give an opportunity now for the Shanghai Dragons to take this point in a pretty good time, potentially, depending on how fast Freefield can get over there.
I mean, Coolmat's trying to just delay them now, you know, putting the rockets through the choke, just trying to hold back Shanghai. But Shanghai's not coming at the point that fast, so it doesn't look like they're going to get a big opportunity here.
Freefield was actually waiting in
Whoa,
front. They
that
could have
ball spot.
taxied back with the Lucio, but they didn't actually use the Lucio to taxi, so they're going to be later than they could have been.
Now Muma pops that Primal Rage. He had the Pulse Bomb on him, goes down anyway. Otto with a kill there. Shanghai with the man advantage early on. Linkser used his Pulse Bomb a short time ago, so he doesn't have it this time. Can't quite get over to the free field. Meanwhile, Jake finishing off with Fearless. Oh, whoa, that was close. Tightrope walking his way back onto the map, and Houston holds. But I think Soldier, man, that was definitely heart attack material right there. Oh.
MG, the last one to fall. Houston still holding on to the point. Fearless dove early. You can see you don't expect perfect communication from these guys considering they just started practicing together. But Fearless did not wait for the flank to come in. Jumped in early, got hit with a biotic grenade, and was picked off before the rest of his team could come around on the opposite side. So they're not in sync yet with each other, at least not on that attack.
Well, how could you be? I mean, these two guys came in here like just a couple of days ago, right? They barely had any time to practice with the team, so not expecting a whole lot of coordination here. They have found the Houston Outlaws grouped up, but the Transcendence should solve a lot of the damage problem. Certainly does. Jusha gonna get demeched, taken down. Another pretty easy hold for Houston. And, you know, again, it's like I was saying. I mean, Shanghai has been a team in perpetual distress pretty much since the beginning of the Overwatch League. And while these new additions could improve things in time, I don't think anyone's expecting a whole lot out of these guys today.
No. It's been, for any team adding players like this, would be difficult to make sure everybody is meshing together. They still are missing a dedicated DPS player on this roster under their current circumstances, so it's going to be tough.
Blade comes out. Otto's been holding it for a long time, looking for targets. So Jake running. I gotta get out of here. Oh, turns around, bold move. Got the biotic build on, and he's gonna get the kill. Are you kidding me?
Timed that one out very nicely.
No kidding. It was just kind of, I think, maybe waiting for that Helix rocket to come back off cooldown. Hard to say what the situation was. Good to just run away from that Dragon Blade when the dash is down. You can just kind of outrun the Genji.
Yeah.
Feeling spry indeed.
He is feeling spry. Cool Matt was there to make a Genji sandwich if they actually needed to.
Ew.
Yeah.
That
Well, sounds metallic.
Yeah. Tastes coppery.
All right, Rock is still working his way back right now. They're going to try and intercept him.
They're gonna give it a shot anyway. Transcendence coming in from Shanghai. They're going way back there. Fearless does get the kill onto Raucus though.
Yeah, they
So
saw an
maybe
opportunity to attack the support.
Oh,
He was coming back,
reflected.
and there's a nice reflect.
Yeah, rocket sandwich for Jake. Meanwhile, Muma does get the kill onto Otto. Shanghai trying to take this one. Cool Matt D-Mac. There's a nice stick onto free field from Linkser though, trying to save this one. Heading off 5 King at the pass, got the health pack instead of him. Full supports out of the way. Linkser though, out of the way himself now, and maybe Shanghai can actually take this.
The respawns are coming back in, Doa. They had to kill the tanks from the Outlaws, but they managed to escape. Jake's coming in with attack visor. They're going to be right back on this point.
Raucus jumped on though. Jake coming in with that tack visor. Houston did have the Transcendence as well. Jake jumping down, getting bopped around by the Winston. And whoa, he's getting chased by Fearless. Whoa, gets roasted in the end. But that means the rest of Shanghai kind of on their own and they can't stay on the point. Houston will hold. I believe it was just 1 tick for Shanghai. Maybe they got 2, but either way, strong defensive effort by Houston.
Yeah, you could see there, they're starting to operate on the same page. Shanghai realized Raucus was returning from spawn, saw him in the open, immediately dove, and then wrapped their way up around the back staircase onto the high ground. Fortunately for them, the kills came in from the Outlaws as they started to push onto that point, particularly their supports dying. And then you have the issue of Outlaws just sort of giving up on some time on that point, but it's enough for their respawns to even the score.
Yeah, 78.5% was what Shanghai was able to achieve on their attack. So that's all the control meter that Houston will need to get to win the map. Send us to a pretty quick map too. We'll see how well the defense looks now for Shanghai Dragons. Again, the offense looking a little bit scattered, but again, Fearless and Otto just getting into the country a couple days ago. So, you know, you're not expecting a lot of cohesion here. And if you're a Shanghai fan, I think you just have to be happy to see some new faces.
Yeah, it's giving them options, of course. More players still going to be incoming, as well as some of the old faces returning. And it will be Otto this time on the Tracer MG with the Soldier 76. Houston Outlaws looking like they're going to run a dive composition. Jake taking up the Genji.
I feel like what Muma is doing in holding onto the Symmetra in the spawn room, for one, he's getting the most Symmetra playtime in the league. That's cool. But for two, I think he's subtly trying to tell Blizzard to rework Symmetra into a tank. That's the plan. Like, you know, we know maybe there's going to be another rework someday. Forget the support thing, just go tank.
Build some hard light around her.
There you go. Yeah, the crowd's into it. I'm sure that's what they're cheering for. Muma back out of the Winston, though. No shock there in the end as Houston goes on the attack. Otto on the Tracer on the Shanghai side. Fearless, of course, on that Winston himself.
All right, Linkser going to be flanking alone around the right side. Everybody else spread out an arc right
Jake
now
Genji, too.
as they're looking for an opportunity to dive. So they're waiting right now for the flanks to occur.
Otto
is in trouble already, has to use that recall. That is a bad situation to be in as a Tracer.
Jake nearly has him dead to rights, but here comes Freefield to save the day. Jake got himself a little bit trapped there, and now Houston short-handed.
I'm not sure how that actually happened, because the way that you would have had to get there if you were Freefield was to enter line of sight against the Outlaws, and he should have been immediately jumped on for that positioning. So that's actually a mistake by the Outlaws, but that's not.
Losing MG. Raucus with a big pick there. That's something Houston can definitely capitalize on. But then they lose Muma, so tank down. Fearless falling just as well. Looks like Shanghai going to be without both of their tanks now. Cool Matt as well out of his mech. Parity in terms of kills. Linkser kills Otto, but Houston on the point right now, filling up that control meter just a bit. Freefield falls, as does Shusha. That may be about it.
It's only 5 King there. MG just got back. I don't know if anybody's actually going to get onto the point in time, though. Linkser trying to push MG out by dueling him.
That's it. GG, man. Houston Outlaws will take Volskaya Industries in quite a hurry.
Yeah, it was a pretty quick map for the Houston Outlaws.
Yep.
I don't know what else to say, Noah.
I mean, yep, that's about it. Houston Outlaws with a pretty easy win on map number 1, Shanghai. Some new additions coming in, but the cohesion lacking a bit after Dia and Undead headed off to China. It's been rough for these guys. We still have 3 more maps to play. We will see if Houston Outlaws can extend their lead after the break, or if Shanghai will maybe get a little momentum back on our control map. It's going to happen anywhere. I think that's where it's going to be. We will find out just a little bit. Plays for days. See you in just a few, guys.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Overwatch League. And right now, Houston Outlaws 1 game up on the Shanghai Dragons. Didn't take a lot of time to get that win on Volskaya Industries, but we are going to Lijiang Tower next, so hey.
Yeah, it's interesting to see a big shift in style, too, and something that's, in addition to having to integrate these new players into the roster and smoothing out the communication and everything else, as we take a look at a substitute player altering in for free feel. Another issue that they're going to run into is that the play style has entirely changed with the addition of Otto. This is not a dive team. If you look at how the Shanghai Dragons have been playing, a lot of it was a Tracer and then Undead on a long-range hit scan. McCree, Soldier, Widowmaker, and a Mercy pocketing him.
Right.
So they've been playing a very defensive style, a pick-oriented style, investing a lot of resources in that long-range DPS. And so the rest of the players now have to adapt to an entirely different kind of Overwatch than they were playing previously with the addition of Fearless and Otto. So there's many layers, I think, to the learning curve that the Dragons are going to be facing.
Yeah, of course. And nobody should be using this match as a litmus to judge the new players on Shanghai. Like, you don't like join a team 2 days later, play an official match, and be like, oh, now I know exactly what kind of player that guy is. You can't do that.
Especially like a mixed language team as well.
Of course,
There's a lot going on here, but hopefully these additions and when Dia and Undead return, we will see a stronger Shanghai Dragons roster overall. At least they'll have some more opportunities to switch around players and try and vary their style up a little bit more.
True enough. Well, our second map of this 4-map series is going to be Lijiang Tower. Our control map, best of 3, King of the Hill style action. And from our screen, our super special secret screen, we are going to be starting things off on Control Center. Check it out. Astronauts of the future.
Very exciting stuff. And this is where the Outlaws are really shining, right? They've done well in 3-tank lineups. That's why they've had strong results on King's Row and on Control Center. Going to be going back to the Junkrat with Linkser on the Zarya Muma.
I like it. Here we go. Houston Outlaws versus Shanghai Dragons. Map number 2. Over on the Shanghai side, we've got a pretty similar look. Although it's going to be Otto on the Tracer. Going to the triple tank on Houston.
Yeah, Houston really, I think, has a lot of strengths if they come out with this point first on Lijiang. You can see them pushing forward slowly, starting to charge Linkser up.
Who gets this first coalescence? That's the big question, too. The Moira is going to be charging that out fast. Ooh, Fearless going down. Jake finds a kill right there. Otto trying to get into the back lines, but it's not going to work out. And that's another DMAC onto Shusha. Houston going to just grab this point easily.
You can't actually play the heads-up shield battle if you're the Shanghai Dragons, and they have a Junkrat.
Not against the Junkrat, no.
If you're playing the Tracer, you're trying to basically dodge them until the Tracer can get into the back lines and maybe pick off a support or start harassing them, force some of the tanks to turn around. If you're just going to go head-to-head in Reinhardt shield wars, you will lose almost every time. So Outlaws break the shield first, are able to apply more pressure to the front line, and they take a pretty easy first fight win.
Yep, got nearly 6 ultimates as well. Boink a little bit behind on that one, but it's going to be okay. Tyre doesn't get a whole lot for them. Jake does go down. Here's an advantage. Oh, they're going to go in. Onto that bigger bang. Oh, no kills out of that, but they do get the DMEC from Coolmat's self-destruct after that Graviton Surge was used and altering, having to fade away. Oh, there goes Shusha Fire Strike. You've been fired.
All right, well, I mean, you don't get any kills with the actual self-destruct there, but you do force the Reinhardt to turn around, and then they got damage pumped into them with the Reinhardt and the rest of the team on the opposite side, so it accomplishes its goal either way. Shanghai have a chance to come in now. They've got the grab up, and they have the Earth Shatter.
There's a lot of ults used by Houston, so Shanghai coming in with a bit more in that category here. Fearless coming in, goes for the charge. They're going to go for the Graviton Surge. Immediate Earth Shatter comes in from Houston. Otto goes down on the Shanghai side immediately. Good coalescence from Raucus, actually, to keep the tanks up.
That was a fantastic counter shatter by the side of Muma. He denied MG's ability to follow up on the ultimate entirely. Couldn't walk around the corner while he was sitting stunned on the ground. And now
walking back in, 20% for Shanghai. They did muscle their way onto the point. Links are all charged up. Has to dodge that self-destruct, though. Boink gets charged. Ooh, bad luck for the Lucio there, but Outlaw striking back in a hurry, and now the Riptire looping around the back, gonna go after MG, takes a big chunk out of him, and it's an easy finish. MG actually finishing himself with the right click, getting a bit too close there.
And they're gonna start to charge forward now, too. Linkser.
Catch reveal there.
Yeah, this could be a late stagger.
5-King, rather. Oh, 5-King gets back. Hey, man, wall riding is pretty sick.
Wow, Boink almost fell off the map there, but Wall rode his way back up to the rest of his teammates. Dicey situation. Linkser with a Graviton now. Maybe feeling good about this next push. Waiting for Linkser to use it. How far are they going to let them walk in?
Yeah. Graviton Surge. Oh, Earth Shatter somehow got through the shield. Muma may have dropped it for a second. Ultraman coming in with the big coalescence. Wow. Got a lot, and that's going to be Shanghai flipping the point. Great combos out of that Earth Shatter into the coalescence.
Houston got a touch greedy there, Doa. Linkser had some chances to put it on the wall as they came through the choke point. Didn't actually take him up on that.
It
So
looked like Muma dropped his shield for a second there too, so losing the mind games to Fearless.
we have push back in though. MG, the Graviton of his own.
Yep, a lot of ults for Houston available. Graviton Surge got eaten. MG's gobbled up by Cool Man. Still charged up, and they're gonna go ahead and send in the self-destruct. Earthshatter comes in through Muma, and that's gonna just annihilate Shanghai, setting up a lot of kills there. Another Rip Tire for Jake on the way, or rather for Otto, my bad. Gets the D-Mech onto Cool Man with that one. Altering, escaping on the Moira, and now the tire comes in. They want to secure this one. They don't want to let him in. Over for time expires. It's Altering and Fearless.
Nice tracking.
Tracking, yeah, wow.
From Lixer there.
We're in sync today, I guess.
Yeah, to finish off the kill onto Otto. They're trying to sweep up the rest of these tanks on the point.
Yep. And that should be it, man. I mean, Shanghai Dragons just filtering in one by one now. You can't take the point back like that. Houston Outlaws going to grab control center.
Critical Graviton defense matrix at the end of the point by Cool Matt, nullifying the ultimate from MG and allowing the Outlaws to move in with their CC ults, Earthshatter and their own Grav to take the point. And
MG kind of telegraphed that one from a mile away. They
Yeah.
just walked forward and shot it right into Cool Matt's face. So you kind of, it's not too tough to see that one coming.
yeah, they didn't have a lot of follow-up on the Gravs that they did land in that map either.
Yeah.
Jake apparently talking a mile a minute right now. What else is new?
Oh, yeah. We've seen that stream. All right, we're going to the night market for our second round here on Lijiang Tower. Houston Outlaws 1 round ahead. Win this one, they win the map. 3 Rip Tires in 63 seconds each. That's pretty quick. That's almost a whole car.
Almost an entire car of Rip
That's
Tires.
right. It's a tricycle. Rockets down early. Shanghai striking first blood here on Night Market. There's the D-Mech though onto Shusha. Boink still trying to keep everybody healed up. Barely able to do it right now. Oh, but now Shanghai comes in with the dive. A lot of kills on that side. They may be able to grab the point first this way. Yeah, Jake falls. So that will be Shanghai, most likely.
Yeah,
Getting some control percent going.
Coming back with the dive, playing aggressively in the chokes again. So Raucus falling first has been an issue for the Houston Outlaws. They've been having trouble protecting him and keeping him upright in their most recent matches. Happens again there, and that's the opening the Dragons need.
Yep. Otto with the Dragon Blade. Here we go, pulling it out, going after the back line. Raucus falls, courtesy of Fearless. Did extra damage there. Otto slashing away, but a measured response. So just pushing Houston back. You got what you wanted out of that blade. It worked out okay.
Yeah, Lixer in the meantime gets Altering in the back and also duels out MG simultaneously.
Otto down. Sound barriers on both sides, but Shanghai's not there to save the DPS. Pulse Bomb comes in, takes away a lot of that shielding. Lixer has to back off, taking a lot of Winston fire here. Meanwhile, 5 King on the outside there. Otto trying to stay alive. Houston in the process of claiming the point for themselves. Lixer looking for this duel. Grabs a health pack, goes back in onto Fearless. They've got the Transcendence now, too. Trying to seal the deal there. Fearless with no Primal Rage. Used it earlier.
Oh, Cool Man dies. MG gets him while he's rebecking. That can change a lot. Jake with attack visor right now. There's more members of the Dragons on the point. He at least gets MG.
It's turning into a very impressive stall, actually.
It is.
For Shanghai. Houston.
They're going to win.
Wow, you gotta be kidding me. What a stall from Shanghai.
That
was
was a fantastic stall from the Shanghai Dragons. They held on to that tenaciously, not letting the Houston Outlaws through, and they also forced a bunch of the Outlaws ults out at the same time. So Otto about to be sitting on another Dragon Blade. They have the Transcendence. Shanghai has the tools to finish this point.
They certainly do. Oh, but they lose one of them as 5 King dies early here. Otto with another Dragon Blade. Transcendence lets him pull it out in safety. Houston Outlaws push back again. There goes Jake. Oh, brooped away. Denied and nearly got another slash, another reset. That's going to be Houston finally grabbing the point. That's why
Lixer
Lixer
and
stuck in
Buma
there.
were on the point back capping, and they may have pushed this too far.
And that pulse bomb got eaten for Lixer, but at least he's still in the point. getting damage done. They do lose Muma, though. Shanghai committing the sound barrier to the defense, but it's not going to help. Houston Outlaws coming out with a lot of kills in this attack right now. Shanghai nearly flips it back, but Houston's going to hold unless Fearless can have a big play here.
Fearless is getting low, and there's only a couple more members, both supports, that don't have DPS on the point, so Houston's going to hold on for now. That was a hell of a back cap by a primal raging Muma and Linkser.
Yeah.
And you could see the panic set in too. As soon as it was flipped, Shanghai tried to turn tail and head back. MG was the only one around the points. Houston turns on the supports, which were left behind, and kills them.
Jake on the run, a lot of pressure coming onto him. They want to kill him. They know he's got the tag visor, but Fearless goes down quick. There goes Shusha's mech. Both tanks out of commission already. Houston winning that fight really before it even began.
And they're continuing to push forward now. Comeback is very real for the Houston Outlaws. Shanghai. Miscommunications or a little bit of panic in a situation that they could have finished out this point on, and now they find themselves struggling to get back in.
Yeah, you've got 99% though. Here's where you're trying to stay calm, win that fight, then get Jake early. Good start for Shanghai. Now the Transcendence from altering after claiming that pick. They can beat Houston, grab the point back. They've already got 99%. Altering and 5 kings down though, so no supports for Shanghai means this fight is not going to be easy to complete. And Houston committing the sound barrier at the end just to make sure they don't really lose anybody. They want to at least get it up to 99.99, and they should have that. Goodbye, Winston.
Oh, that last tactical visor, maybe you wanted to hold on to that one, but
I think so.
Can they even get onto the point is the question. Fearless is going to make it. No.
No, he's not.
Oh, that was so close.
Oh, boy. Houston Outlaws taking Lijiang Tower with 2-0. Shanghai certainly making it competitive on Night Market, but the Outlaws had what it took.
That was a very exciting run back from the Houston Outlaws.
Yeah.
It was a smart back cap from Linkser and Muma, reading that the Shanghai Dragons had pressed too far forward.
I mean, when you're in this situation as the Outlaws, you know, what do? You take advantage of that lack of coordination, kind of try to run circles strategically around them, and so far so good.
Well, you see some of those problems, Sudoa. You're slow on the synergy, and you just can't get it together.
Sure enough. Halftime, when we come back, see you then.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
The Dragons put up a fight on Night Market, but the Outlaws prevailed, and now they lead our series 2-0 at the half. Welcome back, everybody. It's Puckett here on the desk. We got the full crew. It's Reinforced and Crumbs once again. And this matchup, we knew it was going to be a tough one for the Shanghai Dragons. You're missing your star DPS players, Undead and Dia. They're back in China, but you do have some new players. And I want to start the conversation here with Otto and Fearless. Now, coming in, we weren't exactly sure what heroes they'd be playing, but we had a pretty good idea. The question was, what was the rest of the Shanghai Dragons going to do? So, Johnny, walk us through what has Shanghai showed us so far, because MG, a guy we've seen on Diva in the past and other off tanks, seems to be running Tracer once.
Yeah, he's running the Tracer now, and it's pretty understandable, right? Because Otto is a main Genji player, and now while Otto can still play a Tracer, you want him on his best hero, right? And so the Genji makes sense. You can team up with Fearless on the Winston, of course, and execute the dives. But given the importance of the Tracer in this meta, still having your off-tank player playing the Tracer role, because Dia and Undead unfortunately aren't here, it's rough for them.
I mean, I think you're forgetting the key thing that Fearless and Otto have not practiced. This is not an addition like Sinatra that's been living with the team for a while, that's been chilling, seeing everything. These guys flew in, got their visas, they just started practicing, and they got maybe, what, 2 days of practice. On top of that, they don't speak the same language. There's no connection in there. So that seems like a pretty tough ask to see, hey, go take down the Houston Outlaws, guys.
So to be totally honest and transparent with everyone at home, we kind of expected this result. We expected a 2-0 at the half, but let's take a look at how we got here. Looking back at map number 1, it was Volskaya Industries. And there was one thing we talked about backstage, Johnny, that was going really well for the Shanghai Dragons, and that was that they seemed to be a little bit more on the same page with the ultimate usage. The macro level, they weren't just wasting ults in some of the early fights. They waited until they had an ult advantage, but even with that advantage, it seemed that Houston was overpowering.
Well, it was specifically Fearless and Otto, right, who teamed up, and we got to see some nice primal rages. And I think we saw some more individual plays coming out, right? But it is the team synergy that is not completely working. We know that 5 King, for example, he is a formidable Lucio player, so he should be enough. Maybe he can steer up the back line. Freefield hasn't had the best game so far, but overall I think we saw some plays come out on the side of Shanghai Dragons, but then again, Houston Outlaws are a good team. It's a rough matchup.
You mentioned that Lucio. If you guys don't already, go on Twitter, follow Overwatch League. They have a fantastic clip of that Lucio showing his impact while the rest of the team gets massacred in the background. But let's talk about the future here for this squad, because Shanghai looked like they could have taken that first point. They C9'd a bit. They got off the control point, and the wick burned out. But what could we expect for them in the second half? Where are they at their greatest strength right now, composition-wise?
I mean, is there one?
Okay.
Well, there's the dives,
Like,
right?
they have
Come
dives.
on now.
What? Okay.
No, they have good Winston and a good Genji, right? And
Okay, but you need more than 2 people for the dive.
No, not really. We've seen in the past, Fisher makes a lot of space for the Gladiator. So, okay, then Otto realizes, I have good space. This is a good opportunity to pull the Dragon Blade. You have 5 King, who's a good Lucio, who can pull out the sound barrier. There isn't an awful lot of teamwork that actually needs to get together here, because the players at such a high level, they play a lot of ranked. They know exactly what situations they can make plays happen. And if you can create those situations with Fearless maybe controlling a lot of space, there is a lot of plays that could actually come together here, and we can actually see a pretty even game.
I think what? Wait, what?
Yeah, we've seen Shanghai Dragons in the past.
I think the strength that they have is
they've taken maps of Seoul Dynasty.
Yes, they've taken maps, but a close, like, actual series here without the DPS that they've had. They haven't had any practice. That just makes no sense. Like, the biggest strength there is the surprise factor. Nobody knows what they're doing. Maybe not even themselves.
They got the prizes,
so
game
they
3
could
and
just
4,
toss
Crumbs.
everything. Exactly. Like, they could just throw every team for a loop here.
All right, let's move on to the second map here. Johnny, I like that. You definitely see a vision of how they could walk away with the victory. Game number 2, though, they had a few mistakes that cost them very big. Let's take a look at Lijiang Tower, because if you look at the first map, it was Control Center, pretty close back and forth. You finally have Shanghai breaking in, taking over the point, but then you have your Zarya Graviton just eaten, and the whole team seems to lose the next fight. All of your confidence is gone. Outside of the ultimates, did they have a chance in this control map?
So I think what I liked about Shanghai here was actually the Tracer tried to go for a lot of individual plays that seemed to get well, actually, we're going to start with this, and sure, the grab makes a good play, and you know that this map is likely going to go Houston Outlaws' way just because of the tank compositions requiring more synergy in this specific map. But when we moved on to the next one, the Tracer, I think, actually made a lot of work, MG, by going on individual plays. It looked like Houston was not confident in their own Tracer play, and so kept babysitting Linkster, even though we know he can hold his own against the D.Va main playing Tracer.
And again, that's what we've seen in the past. Like, okay, sure, Assault map is one of the most strategic, demanding maps or map game type in the pool, of course. And then you go into a control round where we are forced to play triple tank oppositions. It demands a lot of synergy with the defense matrix and the Reinhardt shield, etc. But here on Night Market, you see the sheer individual skill game coming out, and we actually saw Fearless doing a lot of plays and Otto doing a lot of plays. So sure, their strategic and tactical ability isn't there, but I think that the skill is getting there. And sure, MG, not the best Tracer, but still, if he can just make a little bit of work, they can rely on this to actually make something happen in the future.
Isn't that going to get harder, though, strategically for Hybrid and Assault?
No, and that's not necessarily, because you don't have to demand as much strategic depth going into it. I mean, Assault, you have to set up your attacks, you have to flank, strategy coming into play with your hero picks, etc.
You can't snowball those maps, so, all right.
Exactly.
Yo, they will snowball. That's how it is. The Shanghai Dragons will snowball it.
I believe.
I
want to believe.
Johnny, honestly, Johnny and I have been talking about this.
You're too good for us.
We've waited so many
wholesome,
matches. Man. We're hoping this is the time that Shanghai starts to generate some positive momentum and gets their way up in the leaderboard. For now, though, they have 2 more maps they have to power through, and one of the guys they got to look out for is the captain on the other side. Maybe not technically by title, I'm not 100% sure, but if you listen to the comms, it sure seems he's taking control. Let's take a look, it's Jake, and this is what he is saying to his teammates mid Lijiang Tower, trying to get everybody on the same page and trying to avoid the mistakes.
Nice. Just relax here, don't try to win fights we shouldn't be trying to win. Like we like went for the beat there. Like there's no reason to try to win those kind of fights.
It was like I knew I couldn't get it, but I did it anyway.
Yeah, it's no worries. That just means like just relax a little. Like look, think about our win conditions.
I just thought that he was gonna be able to get it while I was beaming him for the whole time.
Nah, it was like the D.Va.
So that's actually really good to hear, because even though you're playing against an opponent that might not have had any wins, you need to recognize that they are going to win fights. And so you have to just back off and say, this is your fight. And that doesn't mean if you're better or worse if you lose a fight here and there, because you win the fights that you need to win the maps.
All right, well, it seems Houston knows what is in store for them. They just got to play it safe and win this game. They're 1 map away from locking up the series, but today, you know they're looking for a 4-0. We'll see if they can get the job done. Kings Row is coming up after this. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
The Houston Outlaws are up 2-0 on the Shanghai Dragons. And you can kind of tell by the energy that the Houston Outlaws brought out to the stage that they were going into this meaning business. And it's kind of interesting because I heard a couple of the players backstage talking about how they're a little bit uncertain about this match. They really didn't know what to expect from the new acquisitions of the Shanghai Dragons, but they stuck to their game plan, and it's been working for them so far. As far as the Shanghai Dragons, well, to be honest with you, I didn't know what to expect from these new players, Fearless and Otto, either going in. But if there's one thing that I learned about this first half is that the puzzle pieces are there. They just need to find a way to put them in the right place. Anyways, Shanghai's not out of it yet. We still have a whole other half. So let's go ahead and get back into the game with our casters, Monty and Doa.
That's right. Thank you, Malik. And you're totally right about the puzzle pieces. But unfortunately, with Undead and Dia not there, it's kind of like when you try to put it together and then you realize two of the middle ones are just missing. You're like, well, I can't finish this puzzle just yet. But hopefully, in stage 3, they'll be able to get it all together.
Yeah, I'm looking for the incremental improvements, as it were. And we have a very interesting sub situation.
Hey, it's Spree subbing in for Linkser. So that leaves Jake as the lone DPS on Houston for Kings Row.
This is very interesting because the Outlaws in the past, this has actually been one of their best maps in stage 2 overall. And we've seen a lot of Linkser Hanzo for the entirety of attack on Kings Row.
Yeah.
And that means they're going for a single DPS look, which almost certainly means that when we see Spree come in, they want to keep the Diva there, so he will be playing either Zarya or Roadhog, presumably.
So you're telling me that Jake will be playing the solo Hanzo. Is that what you're saying here?
I'm pretty sure we're going to see him.
Just Hanzo.
I'm pretty sure we're going to see him play Soldier on this defense.
Get my hopes up.
I think it's Zarya Soldier for Spree and Jake most likely, but we'll have to see what the Outlaws are going to prefer. They do need some way of handling a possible Pharah pick by Shushu. Because if MG flips over to the Diva himself, then we can open up that projectile DPS slot for one of the other members of the Shanghai Dragons.
That's right. So we'll be Shanghai Dragons on the attack first. We'll see what they've got on our hybrid map here. Things looked a little bit rough on Assault and Control, but actually on Control and Control Center, they started to look a little bit better. Chance to improve on that. You're on Kings Row. Houston Outlaws on the defense. Wilmat rolling away. Whoa, look out for that trap. Do not stand in that. Torbjorn, that will literally cut your head off. You are short enough.
Nobody actually switching up their sprays on the side of the Shanghai Dragon. So Coolmat is going to go back and shift his hero. Spree will be on the Widowmaker, typically Linkser's role. So now we are curious, because the thing about Linkser is we just saw him play Zarya on Control. So you would think if you wanted to play Widow Zarya, you would play Linkser instead.
Strange. Huh. So maybe he's just going to take like a shot or two and then swap. We do see that sometimes with the Widowmaker. Look at that.
I mean, you have to go all the way back in this case, so that would be quite difficult to do, and it's just going to be Spree on the Widow. So a surprise here from the side of the Houston Outlaws. They're going for a defense we see a lot on Kings Row, which is this Orisa high ground defense. It does force some good coordination out of the attacking team because it's very difficult to dive that position. But most of the time you do it with an Ana, so you have a biotic grenade when they dive in. They are not playing with an Ana.
Oh, Rockets tapped with the hook for the kill there. He gets res, so he's back in action right away. MG taking a bit of damage here. Houston Outlaws, though, they don't want to give up any ticks here. 5 King sniped by Spree, a kill already for him on the Widowmaker.
So MG has been great on the Roadhog recently. It's nice to see him going back to this strategy, but it's a little awkward to have the Genji and the Winston with the Moira here.
All right, Riptire coming in. Jake for victims. Rockets down again, but they find MG, so that's a Roadhog out of the way. A lot of health to not have to worry about anymore. They get 5 King as well. Coolmat standing strong, and now Shanghai retreating to the high ground. They gotta get back onto the point.
Wow,
but Houston
Fearless
way on top. Fearless doing what he can. He gets Boink. And maybe with the respawn advantage, Shanghai will eventually grind this out.
They're gonna get another mech though. Muma is still alive, and the members of the Outlaws are coming back. Coolmat's still there. Primal Rage for Fearless. Fearless, though, turning this around.
Oh, yeah, man. He has been doing great on the Winston already. There goes Coolmat. taken out eventually. They put a lot into it, and they will take point A pretty quick unless Houston goes for some sort of crazy last-second.
No, they're not going to do that. They're going to go back now, and we see Muma over on the Reinhardt, Spree on the Zarya. So they are changing things for the Streets phase. We're going to take a look at this replay, too. Altering, finding Spree in the back, had been trying to go for the health back on the low ground. Boink left basically by himself, tries to float over behind the protective Orisa barrier as he is healing Muma up.
You know, that's just what a Moira can do. You can be a bit sneaky with that hero sometimes. The fade, you can get a lot of AoE healing going in. There's a hook, brings in Boink. Boink gets out, though. Lucio safe for now. Another Riptire on the way. Finds Otto with that one. Shanghai getting stalled out a little bit at the beginning of point B here.
And this is where you think the power for the Houston Outlaws has to come in. Now they're back on comfort heroes with Spree on the Zarya. So this is where they're going to be feeling good about their ability to hold. Otto going to be coming right back in with a Dragon Blade. He has to be careful not to go too far forward, though. It's a little awkward to be running the Genji-Winston combination.
Oh, look at this. MG sneaking around the back. Oh, he misses the hook out of Jake. Has a whole hog anyway. And Shanghai diving in with the sound barrier, but he gets caught by the self-destruct. Now Otto with the Dragon Blade finds Jake.
That was some anti-synergy. You don't want to use the whole hog and the sound barrier at the same time with the Dragon Blade. He pushed everybody away from this the Genji who had the sound barrier and pulled his ult.
Yeah, didn't work out too well. Graviton Surge comes in, Spree grabs two. That's a defensive win for Houston.
Yeah, that's a communication issue right there.
Big time.
MG. I mean, what do you say about that? That you have to keep people in range to actually get the resets off of the Dragon Blade kills. The sound barrier doesn't end up working out, and as they're trying to engage after it, chasing after the whole hog members, Kubat just chucks his mech out, and they get killed by the self-destruct.
And now Houston with a lot of ultimates to play with here in the defense. Nearly have 5 right here. Coalescence used early by Shanghai. They're going to try to rush in with it. Sound barrier in response for Houston. Should keep him safe, and that's a nice Riptire from Jake. Oh, and you do not want to be in a small house with Reinhardt. If you are Lucio, you're going to get hammered so fast. And that's exactly what happened to 5 King.
But not the fun kind.
not the kind where if you're hanging out with Reinhardt normally, you may have to be. No, this is the conflict situation with Reinhardt. Phrasing.
Phrasing indeed. Fearless will be returning, though, with a Earth Shatter here, going head-to-head with Muma's Shatter on his side, but that's it. Shanghai has committed so many ults to these last 2 pushes and come up empty-handed.
That's right.
Wow, that is bold.
Is this baseball or Overwatch, man? Muma hitting Fearless right as he charges in, right over the plate, man, and that was a couple kills for Houston that are going to set up another defensive hold under 2 minutes remaining for Shanghai.
I mean, I understand if you do that when you have a Zarya shield to help you out and you try and get behind the enemy Reinhardt to shatter, but in that situation, there's not really any way he can make the play, and he gets focused as he comes in, and he uses his shatter not for any particular gain. Spree now has his Graviton up for this next engagement.
Yeah, that's right, Muma saving up that Earth Shatter as well, holding it. Ready to go, and Sound Barrier, oh, that's going to be a self-destruct. Muma trying to turn the shield in time, and now the Graviton Surge onto the Houston Outlaws, I think. And that was actually reflected by Otto, I believe.
The Graviton, no, the Graviton Surge came in from Spree, and
I'm so out of it, man.
And then the Coalescence was burning through them. They need a little bit of extra crowd control, so Muma comes down with the Earth Shatter that pins the tanks long enough for the Coalescence to finish them out. So great ult combination from the side of the Outlaws. They have a sound barrier remaining. Shanghai, they've got nothing left.
That doesn't look like it. Houston's still in pretty good shape. Under a minute now for Shanghai as they try to put something together.
MG is behind. He needs to pick up one of these supports, but Boink with the sound barrier is going to make that difficult. If he is threatened, he will drop that beat mighty quick.
That's right. Riptire coming in. And Jake trying to find some targets. Takes about half the damage on that. Oop. Gets eliminated. Doesn't get anybody. Well, it does get Chusha's mech, actually, in the end.
Yeah, Boink actually never dropped the beat there, despite everyone being around the payload.
Weird.
So it looks like they're going to have to take another fight here.
Yeah. All right, Shanghai wins a last-second fight, but they're going to have to finish this point in overtime if they're going to finish it at all. They got to rush ahead. They got to try to prevent Houston from getting there. Yeah, you don't want to leave the payload.
It's not going to be an option right now. Altering and 5 King remain on the cart. Coalescence going to come through.
Yeah, Houston trying to push back Shanghai. Fearless in there with the Primal Rage, actually, trying to keep Houston bottled up. That payload nearly there. Now Otto pulls out the Dragon Blade. Earthshatter comes in. Transcendence over Shanghai. They get stalled. Can they finish here? Muma so low. Taken out. Spree diving in now with the Zarya. A lot of charge onto him. Has to watch out for that self-destruct though. China nearly there, but Shanghai, oh no, with the Graviton Surge coming in. They just can't push it through, and that's gonna be Houston holding Shanghai to just a single point.
Yeah, but Shanghai got more wiggle room though at the end. They pushed further than I thought they were going to be able to, nearly through to point B. So there's still a chance here for them to hold. This is a map Shanghai has won on this stage, unlike, unfortunately, every other map in the pool tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's listen in. Jeez, that sentence hard. Let's listen in with Houston as they defend point A.
We're here now. We got some spawners here.
Help me. Back still.
Okay, get ready for grab. Get the Shadow Diva. Okay, I'm going grab. I'm gonna grab.
Big grab. Okay, nice. Aiming heals and then speeding us in.
I got 3. Nice. Keep going.
Well, there you go. A defense that looked pretty solid nearly all the way through. Losing Boink at the last second did allow Shanghai to push that payload a bit farther than Houston would have liked, but still a good hold.
Yeah, big grab called for by the team too. You can see they're calm, trying to follow up on some of those plays. Good old combination and some nice team wipe. So now we go to the Houston attack. Very curious what they will be running here with this new look composition. Not having the Hanzo, which they have played quite a bit in the hands of Linkser, and successfully, I might add. And basically throughout, from point A through to the end of point C, we've seen them run the Hanzo pick. And now they're going to make some changes, potentially with Jake on the Widowmaker and Spree on the Roadhog.
Okay. Doing a bit of triple tank with some more pick potential. Via the headshots from the Widowmaker, the hooks from the Roadhog. Interesting.
Shanghai not running a Tracer, so Roadhog and the Genji, so that at least they have some verticality.
There's a Jake Rat we all know and love. The Junkrat swap comes in at the very end. Oh, hook on MG to start things off. Can he stay alive? Takes the breather. That's a lot of damage reduction, but not enough. Muma finds a finishing blow onto that one. Otto on the run already. Another hook brings in the Winston this time around. Fearless. Now maybe a bit fearful.
Oh, they've only got the 1 tank left, Noah. It's so bad. Otto.
That is 3 hooks, 3 kills for the Houston Outlaws. The picks are real.
Congrats to Spree for his 100% hook accuracy currently on the Roadhog.
Pretty good.
Said 3 for 3. Getting it off cooldown, and that'll be a big win for the Houston Outlaws.
No kidding. I mean, they just rolled in and took that as fast as you possibly could. And now with the task of not even pushing it all the way through point B ahead of them, probably feeling pretty confident here. The Tire comes in, trying to dodge the shots. It's an agile Tire, but not agile enough.
Yeah, this is one of those times, too, if you're Shanghai, you really need to consider moving MG to the D.Va and Shusha over to the Pharah, because Pharah would be excellent against the composition from the Houston Outlaws, especially in this streets phase where you have so much vertical room.
Another hook comes in. They bring in Shusha with that one. He's going to have to exit the fight in a hurry. Coalescence used by Houston to just try to push ahead.
Not gaining ground for the payload, though.
Oh, GG 100% hook accuracy.
It's over now, Noah.
Oh, well. Spree turns around. That's a good kill on Shusha. And now Fearless a little bit on his own. There's a hook that works. Oh, but the hook to the hook. And now that's going to be a whole hog for Spree as they push back Shanghai and get a bit of room going on the payload. Riptire coming through. Jake just trying to catch some of the respawns here.
Yeah, it's all about making room right now. They just need to stall it out as long as possible. They're going to find 5 King around the bend.
Found the hiding Lucio.
Another stagger for the Houston Outlaws, and The cart getting dangerously close to its destination.
And they've got Primal Rage from Muma right now, so potential there to just keep Shanghai pushed back the entire time. We'll see when they decide to use it.
All right, Five King is back now. They've got to go.
Yep. Fearless jumping in again. A little bit on his own, but he's got enough of his team there. Now the Primal Rage comes in for Muma, chasing down Otto, pushing him back into the health pack there. Gets a little bit of health left over. Coalescence comes in from Rockets, keeping the tanks alive. Five King finds himself alone on the catwalk, tries to boot Muma away, and now you got it back on Otto. Muma, the awareness to find Otto after the Dragon Blade comes in.
He was looking for that kill the entire time,
yeah.
Noah. He knew Otto had the Dragon Blade up. That's why he was zoning him out in the first place. Hears it, comes back, lands on top of him while shooting him. The melee is the finisher he needs. Great shutdown.
And that will be Houston Outlaws shutting down Shanghai big time on Kings Row. That's 3 maps, 3 wins for Houston. They'll take the series. Still 1 more map remaining.
Yeah, I'll be happy with that, though. Houston Outlaws struggling recently, now on their way to a match win. They've already got that, and they could get another 4-0. We saw so many of those from the Outlaws in Stage 1. Harder to come by in Stage 2, but maybe not tonight.
I'm thinking it's looking like all Houston so far tonight, guys. Quick break, and when we come back, it's going to be map number 4 between the Shanghai Dragons and Houston Outlaws. It's going to be a good time. See if Shanghai can put together maybe a map win in this series right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
This is Zoe, and I want to talk a little bit about the schedule the Houston Outlaws are having this week. Because, let's face it, it's pretty rough. They're going to be facing off against the Shanghai Dragon, the last game tonight. And they're playing against a team with 2 new players they don't really know what to expect from. And then tomorrow, they're going to have the first game of the day against no other than the Seoul Dynasty. Now, if you're having back-to-back matches like that, that obviously cuts down on your preparation time against both of those teams, and that can be hard to really split the focus. And on top of that, of course, again, it's the Seoul Dynasty tomorrow. That's a very, very hard match to actually even play, regardless of how much time do you have to prepare against them. I talked to their GM, Flame, during halftime about their preparation for this week, their general focus. He kept it pretty, quote-unquote, simple, saying that this week is going to be less substitutions and more focused roles. So we will be seeing Linkser on that Tracer role. Jake will be sticking to Soldier and Genji, as we just saw, of course, also Junkrat. And they hope that they can continue these more focused and specialized roles heading into Stage 3. Let's see how it's going to be working out for the Outlaws, and let's see if they can make it a clean sweep against the Shanghai Dragons. And for all the action, we're going to head over to Monty and Dua.
Thank you, Zoe. I've got a feeling it just may be a clean sweep for the Houston Outlaws. They've been looking very dominant in the first 3 maps. Shanghai obviously coming into this facing a lot of adversity and losing their 2 best DPS players. Then having new players come in, trying to work with these guys. I mean, there's a language barrier now that Shanghai needs to deal with, so it's tough. Meanwhile, speaking of substitutions less for the Houston Outlaws, we have 2 substitutions for the Houston Outlaws on this map right now. Linkser coming in for Spree, and it's going to be Bonnie coming in for Boink.
Yeah, bringing back in these 2 players. Of course, Linkser going to be playing the Widowmaker on this map. And we've seen the Houston Outlaws be very successful on Gibraltar. They played very well against the LA Gladiators to win this map. Last time we were taking a look at them, so I think it should be a good time for Houston. They're 3-1 so far. But to go back to what Zoe was talking about, I do think that if you look at how the Outlaws started Stage 1, they were making a lot of substitutions. They were really struggling in the first week. And once they sort of cemented their roles, they started to win a lot of matches and a lot of maps. And maybe they just need to readjust right now. I think they were hit pretty hard by the patch. And if they can just go back to basics like we saw them do in Stage 1. Maybe that's what's needed to break them out of their funk, and then they can start mixing it up again once they've got those fundamentals back underneath them.
I think that sounds like a very reasonable way to approach things right now for the Outlaws. They will be starting things off on defense again. Of course, here's Shanghai Dragons, the away team today. They'll be starting on the attack here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. It's going to be our escort map. And what is Shanghai going to show us? It's been some dive, and the thing is I have been liking how Fearless has been performing on an individual level today. I do like the aggression. I think his mechanics look sound, but it's all about getting him in sync with the rest of the team.
Yeah,
that's going to be challenging,
especially on a team that doesn't really play dive, right? And
yeah,
if you are going to be a top team in the Overwatch League, you must play Genji, Tracer, Winston, Diva dive. You must do it because it's useful in basically any situation. So you always have a viable strategy to change to in your back pocket.
Yeah,
every one of the top teams in this league is successful with that composition at times, even if they don't exclusively run it.
Sure enough, here we go. Shanghai Dragons on the attack. Otto on the Widowmaker here on Watchpoint Gibraltar, takes a chunk out of Shusha right away. MG down. Rockets finds that kill. So already the Tracer out of commission for Shanghai.
And that's why you have to check that hallway first. So a cool mat. We'll find Otto on the opposite side of the point, and now their tanks are really overcommitting.
Yeah,
those are dead.
Fearless.
Fearless did not need to die right there. He jumped in, trying to find an opportunity, and instead, he ends up getting farmed for ult charge for the Houston Outlaws. Look at this, Rock is already at 75% of a trance.
Man, well, I mean, he got 2 kills. He got a little bit of healing done, so that's going to charge up your Zenyatta pretty quick.
They're going to back off for this next one. You can't fool them twice in this way. Linkser are still going to be duel with Otto here. He does have a Mercy to back him up. Gets out in the nick of time as the dive comes in.
Yeah, felt the pressure coming in. He's played enough Widowmaker to know when the dive's going to be getting there. Shots in. Ooh, big shot on the Fearless. Down to less than half health. Pops that in for sight. Oh, MG gets popped as well. Now going up for the kill on the Widow, but Otto gonna drop back down again. Shanghai trying to back away. Fearless getting a bit staggered. Ooh, Otto, if he takes a shot now, that's gonna be so bad for Shanghai.
Well, actually, a lot of uncharacteristic misses there from Linkser.
Well, it's a new opponent, right? I mean, you kind of get to know people's styles when you do the Widow versus a Widow a lot, and Otto is kind of an unknown quantity right now for Linkser. Ooh, close call there. Liking the duel, though.
That's delivering. The mind games are there. Both
Ooh, man.
Widowmaker's going to miss on the jump shot from Otto, and now the dive coming back.
Yep, that's right. MG, meanwhile, causing a bit of havoc in the back lines. Linkser, though, fairly safe on the side here, you think?
Both Valkyries have been used now, so it looks like the commitment is going to start. MG is going to get Cool Matt.
Cool Matt down. Jake throws out the pulse bomb, doesn't get any kills out of that one. They're gonna have to defend 5v6 for the moment. Jake trying to just stall the payload out as long as he can, trying to create room for the respawns to come back. Boom with the kill onto Otto, though, and now he goes Primal Rage. Goodbye, altering. He corners 5King in the hallway.
Support too, and he's gonna get it. Two kills in the Primal Rage. That will stop the Dragon's Cold.
Yep, meanwhile, MG and Fearless on the run. Fearless just gonna give it up, wants to go back to spawn in a hurry. MG sent soon afterwards. Shanghai with some ultimates to use, though, with this next push, but only a minute and a half remaining.
That's right, and 5King on the Lucio, so they're coming back. They can make some space, and with only a little bit of distance to push that payload, certainly accomplishable if you use the Primal Rage and the self-destruct to control the cart, but Jake is trying to get here.
Altering a little bit low. Oh, goes in for the melee.
The stick!
Just launches the grenade, that's a double for Jake.
Looked dicey, though, but he pull it off?
It wasn't pretty, but he got the job done. Good enough.
It ended up even better than he could have dreamed by actually failing to get that kill until the pulse bomb came up, and then he gets both supports.
The melee attack fails. How about the melee range pulse bomb? It just like shove it right in their faces. Apply directly to forehead.
Well, that he did. Bonnie now will be coming up on his Valkyrie. He will be the first support to get an ult in this next fight, and that's the last fight the Shanghai Dragons are going to have if they do not cap here.
Yeah, that's the plan. Otto over on the Genji to try to take advantage of that fact. Cool Matt dodging that self-destruct. He's going to go in an MG. MG focusing on the Mercy, taking damage though. Otto up on the high ground. There's the reflection. Now the Transcendence comes in. Rockus and Bonnie down. No more supports for Houston Outlaws. Going to go ahead and pop that self-destruct.
Linkser's just going to kill everybody, apparently. He got both supports and MG.
Couldn't get everyone, though, so Shanghai may be able to finish it.
Muma's still here. He's got Primal.
He does have the ultimate on this Winston. Otto's trying to find him.
100% going to delay this.
Yep, absolutely. Jumping down. Why wouldn't you, man? The respawn's almost back for Houston already. Still a chance to full hold here in overtime for Shanghai Dragons.
They're trying to just keep the supports out of the payload right now into the choke points.
Well, all right, Dragon Blade, but now the Transcendence Harakas gonna deny all the damage from Otto. And that may be just about it. MG trying to delay, but no, his team's dead. Houston's gonna hold. That's it, a full hold for Houston Outlaws on Gibraltar.
The unseen Muma is the deadliest, I guess, Stoa. You have to be able, you can see the comms are not quite there yet from the Shanghai Dragons. You have to know whether Muma is alive or not. And if he is alive, you can't just let him sit there within distance of the payload with his Primal Rage up, because that's the critical stall the Outlaws need to get the remaining members back and to the point. They have a Transcendence to counteract the Dragon Blade from Otto.
Right.
Everything lines up for them.
I mean, that's just one of those things that's going to happen for Shanghai now when they have that language, the barrier between some of their newer players.
Yeah,
it's going to be tough. We don't know how the communication situation is exactly on the team right now, I suppose, but I would imagine it's not quite as easy as when everyone was speaking the same language.
Probably not. But that's a mistake that professional teams really hate to make, because you just have to keep track of the players that are actually alive and which ones you've eliminated, and somebody on the team usually steps up and takes responsibility for that.
That's like the pro playing equivalent of thinking a graviton surge has been reflected when it in fact hasn't. I feel you, Shanghai.
It's happened to all of us.
I know how it is.
All of us.
Well, Shanghai on the defense now, and sure, it's possible to full hold, but man, with the way this series has been going, you You expect, you know, Muma to just walk out solo on Symmetra and win this one.
And the Muma.
He's preparing.
Turret tire. That's what he always does here on Gibraltar.
Yep, that's right. Wow, it's the footwork. It's really the footwork that's impressive here. Wow, oh, that's getting a little bit...
He gets some good momentum on this tire.
No kidding. This is like, I feel like we're in Cirque du Soleil or something here. Oh, no, he fell! Well, enough of that. Time to get serious. Houston Outlaws on the attack. Shanghai fearless on the Road Dogg this time around.
Yeah, Rock is just with the Sonic Arrow to check and see if there's a defense there, and that's how you play this position. Yep. You send your D.Va over to the bridge to check there, because the D.Va is probably not going to get hurt unless they have like a Roadhog that hooks the D.Va in. But a couple points checked there, and do see Fearless trying to play, Otto already gone. And Shanghai trying to play the pick comp with the Roadhog and the D.Va without a central main tank. However, with Otto down, that is going to make this extremely difficult.
Yeah. And here's where Linkser just has a field day. And here's where we have a pause. Okay. Oh, what do you know? We'll have to see what the issue is there. Hopefully get back into the game in a hurry. Meanwhile, Linkser can just sort of savor those moments. You know?
I really like the fact that we're seeing Shanghai try on stage some styles of play that we haven't seen from them before. These are things, you know, whether it's going to be Fearless on the Roadhog and playing in conjunction with the D.Va without a traditional main tank, or it's these dive compositions. These are things that they do need to master eventually. So better, I think it's good just to throw yourself into the deep end right now, figure out what the issues are, and try to work on these compositions.
Hey, nothing to lose, right? That payload nearly there already. Shanghai Dragons trying to defend here. Linkser, sleep dart onto Raucus. Is he dreaming of Electric Sheep? Hard to say. It's gonna wake back up again. And Houston trying to control the server room, and they will do that with kills on both of the Shanghai supports.
They're going to keep on going here, Doa. That's not where they're going to stop. Just a little bit further for the payload. Fearless also falling now.
They will not stop until they've won this map, and that's exactly what they're going to do right now. Houston Outlaws with the clean sweep over the Shanghai Dragons, 4-0.
Outlaws trying some new groups of players today. Interesting to see Coolmat and Spree playing together this week instead of swapping out for one another.
Yep.
So the experimentation from Houston today will lead to a 4-0 victory.
That's right. So, much needed win for Houston after a rough stage. Shanghai, though, things just keep being rough. But today, I mean, I don't think you can feel too bad about this if you're a Shanghai fan.
Absolutely not.
This is actually a positive thing. To see new people on the roster, to see Shanghai trying new things. You're not expecting to get a win today, really. This is kind of one of those rebuilding phases that all teams go through in professional sports. This is how it goes. Well, let's send it over to the desk to have them break down those maps.
Thank you so much, Monty and Doa. The series is over, and Houston walks away with the 4-0 victory. And this is the 4 maps that they were looking for today. They came in with a goal, they executed the plan, and they're going to walk away with their heads held high. But tomorrow morning, they have to face off against the Seoul Dynasty. So, you know, they're immediately going to go back, get some rest, and prep for that match. Because they want to finish stage 2 here at 5-5. They have a chance of finishing it at 500. Today, a great win to get that momentum started. So let's talk about what we saw in games 3 and 4, starting with Kings Row, because when you look at this match, it was a pretty decent start for the Dragons. MG opens things up with a hook, and they eventually take point A before almost securing that second point.
Yeah, but then again, it comes back to the argument I said in halftime. We looked at Control Center. There's a lot of tanks involved, and when you're playing tanks, you need teamwork and synergy to work out. And Kings Row is just more of the same, really. We saw the dive come out from Fearless and Otto at points, but really MG, Shishu, and Fearless, they just couldn't play together well enough as a squad after 1 day of practice.
It was very bizarre to see what Houston was doing. They're obviously trying new things here because they put Spree onto the Zarya. So this is a new look for the Houston Outlaws without the double DPS. I don't think we've ever seen them go without double.
We've seen the triple tank with Spree a few times. Never Spree rocking a Widowmaker. We saw that for a moment.
So I think that they're definitely just trying to feel things out, get a good confidence game in. As you say, they have Soul later on. So this is really what this game should be. Go for the plays that were a little bit more bold. And that's where we get to see the individual members shine out, with Muma holding that point, Linkser with the great snipes, and Jake playing Trace.
Absolutely. And Muma, I mean, he didn't even die this last map. Lynx are only one death the entirety. Houston Outlaws put the Shanghai Dragons on lockdown for that final map.
Yes, and it really was the individual skill that overpowered. And we talked about in the pregame that their general manager, Flame, they necessarily didn't prepare for the Shanghai Dragons. And that might just mean that they prepared specifically for Seoul Dynasty tomorrow, the big matchup of the week, of course. You want to focus all your prep time onto the Seoul Dynasty.
Which makes sense. I mean, you can't even watch footage of the current Shanghai lineup until you get into the game.
That is true.
Not even disrespect.
Houston gets a big win here today, but now we have to crown somebody. It's our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. This was tough. Was it Lynxer? Was it Muma? It's the Finn. Lynxer's back. He was all over the map, and he did it across multiple heroes. We saw the Tracer. We saw the Widow. The man can do it all. I want to see more Genji from this guy.
I would want to see more Tracer. Give him bonus points for practicing this hero, trying to get up to the level that is necessary. So definitely kudos for that.
Well, really the point that they're playing Tracer, or Lynxer is playing Tracer now on Assault maps, that might give them a slight boon going into future matchups, of course. Having one Tracer you stick to, no clockwork in today, of course. So it might just be a new Houston Outlaws we see on Assault maps, and it might go well for them in the future maps.
Absolutely, and the one thing I do want to point out as well, go back and watch that control point with Lynxer on the Zarya. His tracking is ridiculous. This is something you could see more and more in the future, unless, of course, you got to play with Spree, because the man is a beast on her as well. Let's take a look at our overall standings. As we mentioned, Houston now improves to 4-5 in Stage 2, but overall, they are currently in that number 6 position. They get the +4 map count. That is going to keep them in the running with the rest of the pack. Remember, after all 40 matches, it's only the top 6 that go into the major playoffs. But we're looking at the title matches here for Stage 2. That's the playoffs that are coming on Sunday. And it's all about where you finish in the top 3 on this list.
Yes, and Seoul Dynasty, I mean, if they don't get a win tomorrow, we could see the Philadelphia Fusion or the Los Angeles Gladiators, of course, taking our Stage 2 playoff spot on Sunday. So this game is going to be very deciding.
And I was asking the people in the back, apparently we still got Boston in the Valiant in the playoff run. Some crazy scenarios mean 7 different teams are still in the hunt, Crumb.
I want to see Philadelphia. After earlier today when they were spawn camping, already 2 opponents that they will have just no problem going up against and just being as aggressive as they want to be, almost making it feel like one of my comp games. And this team, I want to see if they can do that up against New York. Can they spawn camp London, right?
I don't know if that's possible. I'd love to see it. Philadelphia's still in the running, and I have to ask you guys, you're not on the desk tomorrow. It's Brendan's Sideshow. Tomorrow, we open it up with that Seoul matchup. Houston, one of the biggest threats for Seoul this week. Does Houston open the door for Philly and the rest of these squads chasing the top 3?
No, it has to be Florida Mayhem later in the week that plays spoiler, actually, when it comes down to it. I believe in Seoul Dynasty tomorrow morning.
You got Seoul over Houston as well, Crumbs?
Yeah, I do have Seoul over Houston. Houston's still struggling today, but I think that Florida really is the one that's been looking much crisper.
Well, that match is kicking things off tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, and that's when we'll join you next with more action here from the Overwatch League. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.